All right, shalom, shalom. First off, I say, call the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash, the boss, elders, apostles, great millstone, tall shoe, citation, like Israel, but the tells about today's lesson is that you got, men in this thing, that would try to make you fall out the truth. And even if they could, they'll try to deceive the elect, and there's no way they can do that. Okay? Because the whole purpose is, to get you off, the whole purpose of Satan is to get you off of the truth, is to make you lose faith in the Lord. And that's when men, they use, riches of this world. That's why men, you got men that go into the scriptures, right, and try to make money off the scriptures, like Nate Saint, for example, and then doing it with false doctrine. Okay, trying to be like, oh, if you want to learn, you got to pay me this much. No, it says where in the scripture says that. Oh, that says that's what we do. This is Mark chapter 4, verse 18. And these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word, and the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things entering in, choke the word. See? Because the worldly things choke the word. Okay? The worldly things choke the word from a lot of men. Okay? See, because they be so into the worldly things in life. They be so into, oh, well, I see this, all these materials. But the Lord don't give a shit about this material stuff, man, because we're not even here for this shit. Okay? Again, but that's what a lot of men do. So they, try to use, like I said, they try to placate to people's emotions. So when they preach the word, they preach it in wickedness. Okay? They try to preach it according to what that man feels like it should be. Okay? They preach it how it will make them feel. See? But instead of preaching in sound doctrine, see, that's not a man that's after the knowledge, of the Most High. It's not a man that's after the kingdom of heaven. That's a man that's after the things of the world. That's what you call a worldly man. Okay, so that's why as men of the Lord, we always need to be on our watch for men like these. Okay, we don't listen to fools like this. We that's why the Lord tells us to watch. Watch what you watch. And then you got people that, like, they be talking about going to the moon and shit. See, people believe anything that they see, but do no research instead of doing the research on it. But people believe anything that pops up. Oh, this can happen. And then they go superstitious. If it's not in the scriptures, leave it alone. Okay, but these are things you got to watch for. All right. Go back to this. I'm going to go ahead and get this. This is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 8. Study to show, verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly divided the word of truth. So study to show thyself approved. Okay, and that's the whole point of studying, is to show ourselves approved to the Most High. All right, the whole point of our studying also is for you to do your own research, to look it up, to get into it, to get into the scriptures. So when you're able to see things when things is off, you're not able to be deceived. See, because the elect is not going to be able to be deceived. The whole point of these wicked men is to deceive those that are not of the elect. Okay? Go ahead and jump down. This is verse 17. I'm going to go 16. But shun profane and vain babbling, for they will increase unto more ungodliness. And that's what they do. They speak and don't know what they're speaking about. They speak of off shit. Speak of things that have nothing to do with the scriptures. Okay? Verse 17. And their words will eat as doeth a canker, of whom is Hymenaeus and Philetus. Okay? And what does it does? What is a canker? It's a type of disease. Okay? A canker is a type of disease that eat out your bones. So spiritually, it'll eat them up spiritually. See, the words of a wicked man, if you're unlearned or crimped up, and if you're not of the elect, mainly if you're not of the elect, the words of a wicked man, it eats at your spirit, because now it got you guessing and got you thinking, oh, well, was I doing this wrong the whole time? Was I, because that's what a canker does. It eats up your bones. So spiritually, their words it's eating up your spirit. Okay, it's a disease. that's trying to choke out your spirit, man, and make you think that which is the true doctrine is the wrong doctrine. See, who's concerning the truth have erred, saying that the resurrection is past already and overthrown the faith of some, and that was false, and that's what they were saying. But that was false, because they were saying who concerning the truth have erred. So saying that the resurrection is past already, which has not happened yet. See, the Most High is coming now. He's going to come, when he destroys this place. But they're saying it. That's what they were saying back then. That it's already passed. Lord already came. And and a lot of men, they say, that them words is, and as it's happening now. So a lot of these men are Heminists and Philatists, now and nowadays in reincarnation, the same spirit. Okay, so you can find them all over and overthrow the faith of some. Who are those sums? Those is not the elect. Okay, and that's the whole point. Okay, so that's why we gotta stay faith up, because they're gonna try to overthrow your faith. Okay, some faith to get overthrown by the wickedness of the words of wicked men. And this is why we need to study and keep our mind and keep our spirit together. It's because when foolishly happens, we can answer. When foolishly comes up, where we be ready. We be able to cast off them demons. We be able to cut out that disease spiritually. By giving out the real doctrine, the true doctrine. Okay, by speaking. That's why we gotta speak with sound doctrine. Okay, with 100% truth. Because with lies, there's always holes, but with the truth, there is no holes. Okay. Nevertheless, the foundation of the Most High standeth sure. Having this seal, the Lord knoweth them that are his. See? The foundation of Yahweh Shem Shah standeth sure. So when you put your foundation upon the Lord, your faith upon the Lord, you're going to stand sure. So you're going to see the foolish words. You're going to see when the fool will come, when the fool speaks. You don't believe shit a fool says. Because you already prepped up your spirit. You're already strong enough to deal with it. You already, I already know. Hell no, man. You off. And then you start rebuking them according in the name of Yahweh Shem Shah. You're like, nah, bro, you the devil. See? You're trying to use the word for fucking money, man. You ain't trying to do it for the kingdom. And then you're gonna try, and then as you're doing that, you putting down other brothers. You destroying other brothers' times to make it. You taking away other brothers' crowns. You deceiving other brothers. See, that's a demon. But as men of the Lord, that's why we cast these niggas out. Okay? But nevertheless, the foundation of the Most High standeth sure. Having this seal, the Lord knoweth them that are his. And that's his elect. And that's what the Lord know who are his. The Most High knows that who are his. And let every one that nameth the name of the Mashiach depart from the iniquity. From evil. But like I said, man, let me go ahead and get this precept. This is Jeremiah chapter 5. Yep, there we go. This is Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. So therefore, then the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou comest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. See? And that's his elect. And the Most High ordained his elect, the prophet unto the nations. So we told Jeremiah. And before the Lord knew Jeremiah, he knew him. Before he formed in the belly, he knew him. So the Most High know who are his. So this is why, the men of the Lord still has their crown. This is why the men of the Lord still, is going to have it. Because we're not going to get deceived by the wicked, by the evils. Okay? Because the Most High, like I said, your faith got to stand sure. You got to put your faith upon the Lord. Okay? You got to put your faith upon Yahweh Shem Shah, and everything's going to be fine. All right, you're gonna be able to call bullshit. You're gonna be able to see bullshit. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 24. There shall arise false anointed, okay, which is because Christ means anointed, for the false Mashiach. But for there shall rise false anointed and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, and so much that it were possible they shall deceive the very elect. See, there's going to rise false prophets, man. So don't be thinking that everybody got your best interest at heart, because they don't. So that's why you gotta go research, study, get right. You gotta get right with the Most High. Put in the work. Be diligent. So this is why the Lord told us this. This is what we was told. This way, when it happens, we won't get caught blindsided. So right, that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. So if it was possible, which is not, but if it were, they would. But they can't deceive the elect. Okay. So they'll be speaking lies and lies and lies, all up until they can't lie no more. Okay? So we gotta always remember, these niggas ain't got your best heart and interest, only the Most High do. That's why we gotta trust in Yahweh Shemel. We gotta trust in you. Okay? This is why you get up. That's what it says, study to show thyself approved to the Lord. Because you might be in a situation where you will be in a situation here's some bullshit. You got to be able to call bullshit, man. This is Luke 10:3. Go your ways. Behold, I send you forth lambs among wolves. And the elect are the lambs, and the wolves are Israel, the Israelites, the wicked niggas, the wicked ass Israelites, right? Because at the end of the day, they're trying to what? Destroy you. They're trying to destroy you. They are trying to destroy you. Destroy what? Your spirit. From the Most High. Okay, let me go ahead and grab this real quick. This is Acts. Bear with me. Okay. This is Acts chapter 20, verse 28. Take heed, therefore, unto yourselves, and to all the flock over the which the Holy Ghost hath made you overseer, to feed the church of the Most High, which hath purchased with his own blood. So that's what we're here, to feed, and by doing our work. But right here, it's the point I want. For I know this, that after my departing shall grievous wolves enter in among you, not sparing the flock. See, they're going to enter in, right? So it's like, you might have camps, and a lot of them, grievous wolves enter in. A lot of, wicked men, which is, wicked ass Israelites, and they try to take out everyone as much as they can to their own doctrine, slowly but surely. Okay, because why? They're trying to destroy you spiritually. Okay, they're trying to make you believe in what they believe in. Okay, because you come up, you do your thing, everything's right. Oh man, I got this down. You going good in the spirit, man. And Satan knows that. He's like, damn, he rolling. He gonna keep going. He might get the crown. And then, oh shit, I'm gonna send Desmond his way. Whatever. So and then Desmond come up, and man, I was just coming up. Scene, man. I don't know, man, because I think, man, I think that, man, we all be saved, man, because you gotta think about this, man, because the heathen gonna be saved, Esau, because God, man, he's loving, man, I think everybody gonna be saved, man. What, and they gotta be able to call that bullshit, because now if you a man that was learned up, you be able to tell them, hell no. Where does that say that? It don't say that nowhere in the scriptures. Well, to Romans 9:13, so. There's many scriptures talking about it, man. Or how the blessing was only given to Jacob, which is Israel. How the blessing was given to Israel. Okay? So, there's many scriptures going into it, man. But then if you're not unlearned, if you ain't got no foundation of faith in what you were saying, if you ain't got no backbone in what you believe in, when you say it's going to go this way, or if you don't believe in what you say, that moment that rebuttal comes, you're going to go with the rebuttal. You don't get scared and pull back. You go, oh yeah, see, you might be right. Because you ain't do no stuff, you ain't do no learned up. See? Well, that's the goal of these wicked ass men. Okay, and it's to get you to fall the truth. Okay, because not everybody that's around got your back, but not everybody's a brother. Okay, you're more likely to find a false brother than you are actual brother. So these are things to remember. You know, this is St. John chapter 10, verse 12. But he that is an hireling and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, that seeth the wolf coming, and leaveth the sheep and fleeth. And the wolf catches them and scattereth the sheep. See, and those hirelings are wage workers. See, because a lot of men they're hirelings. See, they're trying to do the work, but just to get the riches of this life, just to get the riches of this kingdom. It's not for the Most High. It's not for the work. It's not for the kingdom of heaven. Okay, it's to become known, famous of this life. So. But he that is a hireling and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming, right? So they see the wolf coming and leave the sheep. So they leave and fleeth. You know, they fleeth. And the wolf catch them and scattereth the sheep. And wolves can be as hirelings as well. Because what do? Now you left. Now they're going to leave you high and dry in a battle. And now next thing you know, the sheep is all scattered. Don't know what to do. See? Because at the end of the day, the man who you was with was a deceiving motherfucker. See? He wasn't doing this for your betterment. He wasn't doing this to better the truth. He wasn't doing this to grow in the spirit. He wasn't doing this to grow you in the spirit. See? He wasn't doing this for Yahweh Hashem Shah. Ultimately, it's for the Lord. He wasn't doing this for the Lord. He was doing it for gain. Okay? Money and fame. All right? The hireling fleeth because he is an hireling, and careth not for the sheep. There you go. So, and this is why you gotta stay strong in the Father and Yahweh Shah. You know, because they don't give a fuck about you. This is why you gotta study, show yourself approved, and this is why you don't go unto what men says. You know, you're going into with the Spirit, and you will look up. You know, you gotta be able, especially on YouTube. You know what I do. You know, I only listen to, the GMS Apostle Elders on down. Okay, I don't listen to everybody. Yeah, I don't listen. I don't listen to everybody. I stay away from all the bullshit. But it just helps me. So you gotta go into because they got the true doctrine. Okay, the true doctrine, and it's sound. But every other doctrine, you catch bullshit. But you stick with that. Okay, you stick with it. You don't fly off to every other. You know what I'm saying? Bullshit, and then start studying their concept. Hell no. Check, you got books. You don't go over to you read the scripture, you read the Bible. You don't go over to the Jehovah's Bible, the Muslim Bible, whatever the hell they got. You don't go reading into the studying, submerging yourself into their shit. You don't go do that. Because at the end of the day, it brings confliction. Now, unless you're built up spiritually, and you're there to cut it and stuff, that's totally different. But for a man that's, some men just want to, hey, man, I don't stick. The beautiful thing is just to stick with what you know. Stick with the sound doctrine. That way when anyone comes up with some bullshit, cut it right then and there. Goes all in how you do it. So always remember, man, that's why we got to stay strong in Yahweh Hashem Shah. All right? I am the good shepherd and know my sheep and am known of mine. See? As a father knoweth me, even so I the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. And for other sheep I have which are not of this fold. Them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd. Therefore doeth my Father love me, because I lay down my life, that I might take it again. No man taketh it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it again. This commandment have I received of my Father. See? That's why I put our faith in the Lord. And that's why when trouble comes, you don't leave your brother down the side. You know what I'm saying? You step up. You know what I'm saying? Because when we teach because we care for that brother. Because we care for one another, for us to know. As the Lord will lay down his life for us, we gotta lay down our life for each other, as Yahweh already did. So we gotta, if when you're out there on the highways, byways, when you're out there studying, you gotta, be spiritual. So when that wolf comes, you gotta take that wolf head on. You gotta be spiritual with it, man. You gotta cast that damn demon out. You don't run from that damn demon. You cast that nigga out. You don't leave. You don't go, oh shit, someone's coming in, and go walk away from the camp. Go walk away, oh shit, and leave your brothers high and dry. And you know what this nigga's saying is off, but you just stay quiet and walk away. Oh, then you a demon. But you stay strong with your brother. You cast them out, then they see you, especially you got new brothers, man. And they see you like, oh yeah, calm. It built up that faith. So, that's a piece of shit ass nigga to go walk away like that. But it's cause, like I said, they don't care for the sheep. They don't care for the Lord. They don't care for it, man. All right. They don't care for, your embetterment. So these are things, remember, man. So that's why we put our faith not in men, but in Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah. This is St. John 6:27. Labor not for the meat which perisheth, and that's this world. I'm ending off on this, man. But labor not for the meat which perisheth. So, and this is the word. This is the world. So don't go over here and put your life on the line for the world. So 50 cents say get rich or die trying. Fuck that shit. Do what you gotta do while you're here. Make your bread, make your money. Get yourself in, and if you can, get yourself in a rich position. Yeah, come on. But don't put it above the Most High. If you're able to, don't do it in wickedness neither. Don't over here sit up in here and use the scriptures. Be like, oh, you gotta pay me. No, fuck no, man. Because you a demon if you're doing that. In the end of the day, because you're putting money over the Most High. So if this can change your altitude, this can change your mood. The wickedness of this fucking life. If your whole desire is stronger, if your desire for money, for the things of this world, for the billions of cars, everything is stronger than your desire for the Most High, then you need a reality check. You need to go fucking sit down and study, or you just not part of the elect. Because at the end of the day, that's why Scripture says, labor not for the meat which perisheth, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life. Because the Lord's going to destroy this shit. Everything's going to become nothing. It's all nothing. But labor, right? But for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life. And that's going to be the kingdom of heaven. Being with Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah. Like I said again, if you got a little bread, that's cool. But it's how you are doing it and how you are approaching. Are you still studying? Are you still doing what you got to do for the Most High? Are you still putting the word of the Lord first? And if the time comes, will you be able to drop it all in the fucking sight and walk away? See? So don't perish trying to do this shit. Don't, forget about the Most High while you're doing it. See, now you're going off. See, now you're being a demon. All right? So it says, labor not for the meat which perisheth. Okay? What does a lot of men do? They labor for the meat which perisheth. They put it all. They put their heart, soul, and body into it. And then they be ready to sell each other out for it. It's the men nowadays, all right? But for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you, for him have the Most High, the Father sealed. So this is what we gotta always remember. Is that we labor for the work. This is why we do the work. We labor for the Most High. Then said they unto him, what shall we do that we might work the work of the Most High? I shall answer and said unto them, this is the work of the Most High, that ye believe on him whom he hath sent. So that's the work of the Lord. Doing the work, preaching, and believing upon him is the work of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah. Somebody read this, close out. This is St. John 6:27. Labor not for the meat which shall perisheth, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which is the kingdom of heaven, man. It's beautiful. So labor for that, man. Labor for the kingdom. Okay? We labor for the kingdom. That's why we doing the work. We do the work. I do the work because I believe in Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah. See? And that's why every man gotta believe that. That, and only the elect will believe upon that. Okay? And, so do the work because you believe upon the Lord. Because you believe upon Yahweh Shem Shah. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing the work. Because you wouldn't be believing that what you're doing now will be rewarded. See? But you got to believe upon it. See? But only do the work if you believe upon it. If you don't waste your time because you ain't going to get none. Okay? Because if you don't truly believe in the word of the Most High, if you don't truly believe in what you preach, what we preach, then you an off-ass nigga and just don't do shit. Just be lazy. Be a sluggard. Okay? And don't do nothing for the Most High. Be a sluggard. Sit around all day. All right? But labor not for the meat which perisheth, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For him have the Most High, the Father, sealed. Kol lo yabashim, man. And with that, let's say, Kol lo Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushua, Ba'ashim, Kakadash. Double honor to those apostles of Great Millstone who taught us his truth, and salutation to all elect Israel. And with that, like I say, Shalom and a ball.